You checked your phone 96 times today. Not because you wanted to, not because something important happened. You checked it because your brain told you to. And that same brain, the most powerful organ in the universe, is being quietly, systematically, and deliberately hijacked. Today we go deep into the science of dopamine, what it really is, how it is being used against you, what it is doing to your brain, and most importantly, how you can take back control. Welcome. Let us begin. Dopamine is a chemical messenger in your brain. Scientists call it a neurotransmitter. For decades, people referred to it as the pleasure chemical. But that description is not entirely accurate. Dopamine is not released when you actually experience pleasure. It is released just before it, in anticipation of reward. In other words, dopamine is not about having something. It is about wanting it. Think about this for a moment. When you are about to eat your favorite food, before you even take the first bite, something begins to change inside your body. Your mouth starts to water. Your attention becomes focused. Your heart rate may even rise slightly. There is a sense of excitement, a pull toward what is about to happen. That feeling, that surge of motivation and anticipation, that is dopamine. Not the eating, not the satisfaction after, but the desire, the drive, the wanting that comes just before the reward. Your brain was designed to seek dopamine. Evolution built it that way. In the wild, dopamine pushed your ancestors to hunt for food, find shelter, explore new territory. It kept humans alive. But your brain was never designed for smartphones. In 2006, a young engineer at Mozilla named Aza Raskin was trying to make web browsing easier, faster, and more seamless for everyday users. At the time, the internet still felt fragmented. You had to click through pages, wait for content to load, and constantly decide what to open next. So he came up with a simple idea, something that felt intuitive, almost effortless. He invented what we now call infinite scroll. You already know it. It is the endless feed, the one you see on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter. You scroll, and more content just appears. No buttons, no stopping point, no natural end, just a continuous stream that keeps going forever. At first, it felt like a breakthrough, a smarter way to browse. But years later, Raskin did the math. He calculated that his invention was responsible for more than 200,000 collective hours of lost human time every single day. And when he realized the scale of it, he went public. And he said he was sorry. Now think about this for a moment. In psychology, there's a well-known experiment where a rat is placed inside a box with a single lever. Every time the rat presses that lever, sometimes it gets food. Not every time, just occasionally. And that uncertainty, that unpredictability, keeps the rat pressing the lever again and again and again. It doesn't stop, because it is chasing the possibility of reward. And without realizing it, We built the exact same system for ourselves. You are the rat, the lever is the scroll, and the food is the occasional exciting post. In the early days of Instagram, they tested showing likes in real time as they appeared. The result? Users checked the app compulsively every few minutes, waiting to see the number go up. Instagram's own engineers documented this. They delayed the like counter, not to protect your mental health, but because real-time likes made users so anxious, it was causing people to disengage. They were not trying to make the app less addictive. They were trying to calibrate the addiction to keep you coming back longer. Now let us leave your phone for a moment and walk into your kitchen, because the same dopamine hijacking happening on your screen is also happening on your plate. Every bite you take, every craving you feel, is not accidental. And the people responsible for this? They have been studying your brain for decades, far longer than social media ever existed. Back in the 1970s, a psychophysicist named Howard Moskowitz made a powerful discovery. He called it the Bliss Point, the exact combination of sugar, salt, and fat that pushes your brain's pleasure response to its absolute maximum. Not too little, not too much, but perfectly engineered to keep you wanting more. And once he discovered it, he sold it to nearly every major food company on the planet. Here is another trick the food industry exploits. Your brain has a mechanism called sensory-specific satiety. It means your brain gets bored of one flavor and stops sending hunger signals. But Pringles? Every chip is slightly different in crunch, saltiness, and texture. Doritos? The powder on each chip is uneven. This is not an accident. And here is the most alarming part. When you flood your brain with artificial dopamine again and again, your brain adapts. It reduces its own dopamine receptors. The same amount of junk food gives you less and less pleasure. So you need more and more, until natural pleasures, a sunset, a conversation, time with your children, start to feel flat, empty, boring. There is a clinical name for this. It is called anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure, and it is becoming an epidemic. Now, let us move beyond theory and talk about something far more serious. Physical, measurable, scientific changes inside your brain. Multiple neuroimaging studies have shown that heavy smartphone use is associated with structural changes in the brain itself. One of the most affected areas is the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, focus, and rational thinking. It is what allows you to pause, to evaluate, and to choose your actions carefully. But with constant digital stimulation, this system is placed under continuous pressure. Over time, researchers have observed a measurable reduction in activity, and in some cases, even volume in this region. In simple terms, the very part of your brain that helps you stay in control is being weakened. It is not just distraction. It is not just habit. It is your brain adapting to an environment it was never designed for. And in some cases, it is literally getting smaller. In the year 2000, Microsoft Canada measured the average human attention span. It was 12 seconds. By 2015, they ran the same test. It had dropped to 8 seconds. A goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. Let that land for a moment. We are losing the ability to focus, not because we are lazy, because our brains have been rewired to expect constant stimulation. Here's the cycle that millions of people are trapped in right now. And most do not even know it has a name. You scroll social media. Dopamine spikes. You feel briefly good. The spike passes. You feel flat, below your normal baseline. Your brain sends a signal. Get more dopamine. You scroll again. The spike is smaller this time. The crash after feels worse. Your baseline mood drops further. You feel anxious, empty, and irritable when you are not on your phone. This is not a personality flaw. This is not weakness. This is neurochemistry. Now, the part that actually matters. Because knowing the problem without a solution is just anxiety. Antidote number 1. The dopamine fast. The concept is simple. Give your dopamine receptors a complete break. Stop the high stimulation inputs for a defined period. No social media, no junk food, no video games, no streaming. Even 24 hours begins to upregulate your receptors, making them more sensitive to natural rewards. And here is something worth knowing. The people who build the apps that are making you addicted, they do not use them on weekends. Antidote number 2. Morning sunlight. Get outside within 30 minutes of waking up. Even 10 minutes of direct light resets your dopamine baseline for the entire day. No cost. No app required. Proven in clinical studies. Antidote number 3. Exercise. 20 minutes of walking releases as much dopamine as a small therapeutic dose of Ritalin. The medication prescribed for attention disorders. Your body was built to move. Antidote number 4. The 20-second rule. Make bad habits 20 seconds harder to access. Phone charger in another room. Log out of social apps so there is one extra step. These tiny barriers, just 20 seconds of friction, have been shown to dramatically reduce compulsive use. And the most counterintuitive antidote of all. Embrace boredom. When you are bored, when you resist the urge to reach for your phone or the remote, your prefrontal cortex activates. It starts generating its own thoughts, connections, and creative ideas. Neuroscientists call this the default mode network. It is where some of humanity's greatest ideas have been born. The shower thought. The idea that comes on a walk. The solution that appears when you are doing nothing at all. Boredom is not the enemy. It is medicine. And the most counterintuitive antidote of all. Embrace boredom. When you started this video checking your phone 96 times a day. But now you know something that most people around you do not know. You understand the machine. You understand how it was built, and why, and what it is costing you. And that knowledge is the first antidote. The next time you reach for your phone out of habit, you will feel it. The next time you eat a processed snack and cannot stop, you will understand why. I want to ask you one question before you go. Which of the 5 antidotes are you going to try first? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. If this video changed the way you see your brain, share it with one person who needs to hear it. That is how we build this community. One curious mind at a time. I will see you in the next one.